What's going on, y'all? Good morning. Back once again, season number 4 of the Black Coffee Chronicles. And I say it's season number 4 because it's all different. I got a whole new squad. You see my guy here, Justin Cruz. A lot of you might know him, but you ain't seen him in a long time, okay? But it's a whole new squad, a whole new setup, a whole new day, whole new platform. Everything is all new, and my facial situation is different, if you ain't been able to tell. But anyway, we talking about dropping pounds, and I got my boy Jay here with me because we started doing this, and today officially, what did it say? You were down almost 23, 24 pounds?
Something like that, right?
Straight like that.
Yep.
So it is literally just this many things more frustrating than trying to lose weight. And I asked him that. We sat here for maybe 10 minutes. You come up with anything yet?
Nothing.
Ain't nothing more frustrating than trying to lose weight.
I don't even know what this many things is. Nothing.
It's only,
nothing
it's only a couple things. But so let me sip one time real quick. And it's all black coffee. You can't even see it. 2 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to even get my man here to do that.
Not at all.
It wouldn't have happened. Okay, check this out. The first reason, well, we're going through 7 reasons, right? 7 different things that really, really affect the way that you lose weight. Or should I say, the reasons why it won't budge. The first one is your mindset. What does that mean to you, Jay, when I say your mindset will hold you back? Because we spoke about this.
For sure.
We definitely did.
Really being kind of stuck in your ways. I mean, you gotta stay open to new ideas, new.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? I never heard of intermittent fasting until that's something you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And I'm glad you said that too.
Yeah, I mean, I was used to doing things the way I was doing them. You get bored with that.
Like, I don't do intermittent fasting like how you would normally see. People just say, oh, don't eat in the mornings. Get up, go do your cardio, fast it.
Right.
Like, I got some very, very, very strong beliefs in how you should organize your intermittent fasting, just your eating schedule, period, in general. And that kind of comes to the mindset, right? Because it was one thing that you knew I didn't want you doing when it came to your eating. Wait, before we even talk about it, what was it? What you think?
Diet pop.
Straight like that. It was that diet pop.
That's my addiction. That's my kryptonite.
But it was the one thing I didn't even ask you to stop doing.
Right.
Did you peep that? I never asked you to stop.
Didn't.
I mean, I complained about it.
Right.
But I never said, all right, Jay, when you get started with this program we about to do, I never once asked you to start not drinking pop, diet pop, whatever.
Very true.
It's strategies behind that, man, because when it comes to your mindset, you got to have your mind set for victory, right? So I gave you a smaller, simpler habit to form, which was eating intermittently every other day.
Right.
Strategically, and that was easy to do.
Right.
But the ease of it with the results you got, that shit's empowering. You feel me? You wanted to stop drinking pop just because you knew it really wasn't the right thing.
Right.
But you wanted to because everything else that you was really doing made you feel fantastic. And
Yeah,
then the results was crazy.
Right. A lot of things that you'll put into place, like I started back drinking a gallon of water. That was, something you told me to do. What you'll find is you don't really have the space after drinking a gallon of water to drink anything else.
Anything else, right.
I gotta force down a protein shake after that. You know what I mean? So I don't have room for diet pop. So it wasn't even anything that I did on purpose. You know what I mean? It was just, just kind of happened by mistake. Hey. Don't get me wrong, I'll still have one on the weekend.
But it ain't on a regular basis.
It was a couple times a day. And I'm down to maybe twice a week.
That's crazy.
I mean? So
I'm gonna tell you why though. Why I didn't say anything, right?
Okay.
So you remember that day when I pulled up on you, right? We had that conversation, and you was like, "Hey, let's go to the store." I'm like, "Cool, let's go to the store, whatever. I ain't tripping. I ain't seeing you in a minute. Let's ride. We gonna ride wherever." We went to one McDonald's. It was a little packed. We pulled out. We went to another one. And it was even further. And I'm thinking like the distance.
That's how real
that we going.
That's how real it is.
Exactly, but
That's
I understood that. I'm like, it was real. You know what I mean? And it was like, okay, so I started thinking like, how can I make this shit feel stupid easy to break that habit? So we started talking about other habits, and then you got the idea. Fuck this shit, I'm about to just get rid of it. Right. I don't really need it no more. I ain't craving it all like that.
Right.
I'm not about to drive 15 minutes for it.
No.
You probably would be less likely to do it today than you were 2 months ago.
No.
Wouldn't even think about it.
No.
And that's how it has to be. You can't force your body into anything. When you crave it and you want it, or you don't crave it or you don't want it, you made that choice. Right. It's internal. I like that shit, man. And I give you some dap on that. Because that day you called me and said, man, I ain't had no pop. No, matter of fact, I asked you about it. I ain't seen none of this diet pop on your log.
Yeah,
your journal, I'm like, ain't no way your journal is this clean. Where the pop at, man? How many have you had? Bro, for you to tell me I ain't had none, I respected that, man. That made me smile that day.
It's really that clean, man.
Straight like that. But that kind of leads us into number 2, which is your fears, right? Okay. A lot of people have fear of changing, fear of starting something new, fear of failing. I really like talking about fear, man, because for me, honestly, fear don't exist. It's really more so like your level of anxiety and how you respond to it. Because it could make you nervous and timid, or it could make you feel excited and ready to go. You know, you can hit that line and be like, I bet you ain't gonna hit me before I hit you. Right. 9 times out of 10, you gonna take the right shot. Right. Other person thinking about defense. They don't know what to expect. So, I mean, how do you think fear could hold you back? Because you've been into some situations before where fear could have really stifled your growth.
For sure.
And I'd like to hear a little bit about what you think about fear in general.
I mean, you kind of, that's a tough question. You kind of have to rid yourself of it, and that's something that I've been able to do just throughout different things in my life. I mean, I did jiu-jitsu as a kid, which you
remember that.
For a couple of years.
Yeah, I remember all about that shit. We ain't even gonna talk about that.
You know, I was in the Army, and
respect.
It's one of those things where fear is gonna be there. You have to know how to contain it. You have to know how to, you know, use it to your advantage.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with this. I mean,
self-sabotage is real.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to live the type of lifestyle that I lived if I, you know, was fearful of it. You know what I mean? I tore my pec.
I remember that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. For me to get under a flat bench, it took like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I believe you.
And it was a hindrance. And I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still certain workouts that I won't do because, you know, it messes with me mentally. But, you know, I find ways around it, and I do things that I think, you know.
Damn, that's the perfect example.
Yeah.
Perfect example. I just tore my bicep, and I went through the same mental block myself. Yeah. You know, and it was one session. Shout out to my boy Power Fit, but he came through and he kind of motivated me a little bit to pick some weight up. You know, we were doing bent over rows. Matter of fact, the dead rows that we did with the 5 bent rows, 5 deads, 5 bent, we did those that day with 135. Just a plate on each side. And, you know, I wasn't gonna go that heavy. I was gonna go light. I was gonna probably do like 95. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. But he kind of had that little extra push, man. And when I finished that workout, for one, I felt stupid strong. Like I wanted to add more, but I was gonna be smart. But the next days to follow, when I got sore and my arm didn't feel affected, and we did pull-ups, and we did bent rows, 10 sets, set after set after set, bro, when I didn't feel my arm feel affected at all, oh, it was go time. That took the mental block completely away. And I would have kept self-sabotaging myself because I would have kept saying, I don't think I'm ready yet. I don't think I'm quite ready yet.
That'll happen.
Now my pull-up game is crazy because I can't stop doing it, man. I'm addicted to getting back up there, man, because I love pull-ups anyway. And that right there, man, it tore the wall down. But that's kind of like what I want to talk about when it comes to your fears kind of stifling you. The first thing you got to do, point blank period, is you got to believe something must change. Not, oh, it might change, or I think it kind of need to change, or I'm kind of rocky on top of the fence, it needs to change. It needs to be a fact that it must change by any means necessary. And you got to know that you the one that has to change it, period.
100%.
You got to do that.
Agree more. Nobody gonna do it for you.
And you done been in the paint by yourself.
Yeah.
You had to be in the paint by yourself, so you know exactly what that means. Yeah. That's why I was so happy and glad, bro, when you told me that you was ready to do this work and actually get into the process with me. I'm like, oh, it's go time. Sure. I already know you all my life, so it ain't like I'm gonna let you slack and slip and I'm just hold my tongue. I'm gonna call you in the middle of the night and blow down or come knock on your door. Hey, we about to jump rope for a minute, man. Right. But that all comes down to, man, you gotta believe it can happen. Like straight up, we didn't have conversations. I didn't showed you my progress, what I've done. You've known me. You've known me to be young and fit, young and fat, young and fit again. Like you've watched me do this up and down, bro. And we kind of did it together for real.
100%
we did a lot of that together. But
true.
The one thing that never wavered, man, was the fact that I understood that something needed to change. I had to change it, and it could happen. It was tangibly reachable. You dig?
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, you ain't got nothing but excuses. Reason number 3. flat out. You ain't got nothing left but excuses, man.
I can think
because
of a million of them.
A million. And it gets easy. The more you give excuses for not doing something, the better it gets. You get good at doing that. Yeah. Flat out. Yeah. You can't skip out on your responsibilities, man. You got to take action, and you got to take responsibility.
100%.
You got to understand you sat on the couch.
Yeah.
You got to understand when they closed the gyms down and it was quarantine season, you stayed in the house. Mm-hmm. You got to accept the fact that your body will turn into what you do to it.
That's
flat out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as far as excuses, man, there's so many things. I can think of a million of them. I've made quite a few myself. You know,
I have too. I ain't gonna lie, I have.
You know, tearing my pec was one. You know, when I did that, I said, I'm not, you know, I'm done. And I did what I wanted to do at that time. I lost the weight I wanted to lose. I got back in shape from not being in shape. I proved to myself I could do it. I said, I did it. You know, I tore my pec. I'm done with this. And it's an addiction. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when people say they're gonna stop smoking or drinking or whatever it is, whatever your vice is. I mean, this is my vice. So it's some way, some shape or another, I'll come back to it. I mean, it's been times I done took 3 years off, and here I am right back at it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's kind of, you got to look at it like that, though, man. So many people live this life on a day-to-day basis, and you really got to live it in a week-by-week, month-by-month, year-by-year sort of mentality. Right. So that way, you plan for what you want to see, right? You look in the mirror, and you imagine what you want to see, and then your day-to-day life is all about doing what it takes to move one step closer to what you saw in your vision for next year. Right. You feel me? You always got to stay a year ahead. That way when things happen you don't expect, all you got to do is bounce the variables around. Okay, well, it's holiday season. Cool, I'm going to change the way I train to accommodate the more calories that I'm taking. So that way I don't lose my gains instead of just feeling like you about to fall off the wagon because it's holiday season and you need to get you some of that sweet potato pie or something crazy. I'm going to get me some. Matter of fact, before it even get to that point, we're going to talk about it right now because when holiday season gets here, I'm going to eat everything in sight. And I'm sure you probably will too.
Absolutely.
The thing that's going to, no question. The thing that's going to happen though is I'm only going to do it that day. That's it. Don't wait a whole week and keep smashing. That's where people fail. But anyway.
Perfect example of that. I got a birthday coming up Tuesday. And my wife, you know, asked me, well, what kind of cake you want? Well, I don't want a cake. Because if it's cake in the house, I'll eat a piece and then I'll keep going back to it. Give me a cupcake. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yep.
Or if I make a cake.
Make it a big fancy cupcake too with some,
you know what I mean?
Sprinkles on it, you know?
Yeah, if she makes a cake, I'll eat a piece and then I'll politely pick it up and take it to my mom's house or wherever. And you know what I mean? And,
that's how you got to do it.
Yeah, and I've just learned that, you know, just in general, man, trying to diet or trying to cut while you have all these temptations in your house, especially if you're new to it, I mean, that's, you know, that's a distraction and that is hard to do. Yep. You know, you sitting there eating your chicken and rice or your broccoli and dude, your wife and your kids eating Mr. Hero.
That's the worst. You know how can you even stay solid? Like, you can't stay solid like that. Man, but it'll test your commitment.
Man, I had, it's funny when I used to, the old job I used to work at, I used to work with Chris Green and he think it was funny. I'd be pissed off, and he didn't care. He didn't care if I was pissed off.
Oh, because he'd come in with some bullshit.
Right. So, you know, I was on eating my small meals every couple hours or whatever, and he would order a pizza and put it on my desk.
Ooh, he was ignorant with it. Like, here, let me see what you're going to do with that.
Right, just to see if I would break.
And then stand around on the outside and get the video camera like, nah, you can't do that.
Just to see if I would break. But
that's messed up.
You know, I always had that type of willpower. If I put myself to something,
but that keep you committed, man. You understand what the process is when you can stay committed to the situation, and you got to understand your flaws. Like me, I understand that if, like how you said, if you give me a whole slice of a whole sheet of cake, I'm gonna eat it. Flat out, I'm gonna eat it. That's why I ain't gonna go buy no big sheets of cake and stuff like that where it's gonna be left over. But when I want some cake, you better believe I'm gonna go get it.
For sure.
It might be from Cheesecake Factory where I'm spending $15 a slice. I ain't gonna do it every day. But when I have that craving, man, listen, and I'm gonna eat it with my pinky up, just like how I'm sipping this coffee. Real slow, steady, set it down, bask in the flavors, sniff it. I'm gonna do all of that because I know for a fact I'm not gonna do it often. But when I do it good.
Well, you enjoy it more, and you don't have the guilt.
Yeah,
you know?
No guilt. That's the biggest issue, regardless of anything, man. When it comes to your diet and your commitment, how guilty you feel about something, it really stifles your progress. Because if you feel bad about it and you blow down on yourself, it's real hard to come back from that.
For sure.
It's hard to come back from that. But if it's rewarding and you feel good and your dopamine levels skyrocketed high, dude, you could do anything. You can't beat yourself up about it. You had a craving. So what? We have good thoughts and bad thoughts. The bad thoughts only make the good thoughts feel better. It just works like that. But that goes into the diet. Like when it comes to eating all of that, even when you eating out, catching them snacks, blase blah, when you getting those snacks, make them taste great. Don't make them processed food, get real food. Like I say, spend 15, 20 bucks on the cake. Make it real, authentic, organic, vegan, however you like your dishes. Make it real expensive, and show some love to somebody that made it custom. Don't go to the big chains. Go to somebody that's putting in that work, in the paint, putting their fingers in it to make sure that you got a good, healthy, organic meal. Spend that money on that, treat yourself, and then move on to the next thing. It's not that big a deal if you have a day. Like I say, live by the week, live by the month, live your plan. The day-to-days happen and go.
You really just have to have to set boundaries with yourself. It was a time where I would have a whole cheat weekend where I would just undo everything that I did.
I
worked so hard.
I remember that. Yep, I remember that.
And then you just undo everything. I'm gonna eat whatever I want all weekend, and it shouldn't be that way. I've cut down. I have a cheat meal Saturday, a cheat meal Sunday, and I'm fine with that. I look forward to it, one cheat meal each day. And don't get me wrong, I go in when I do
when it's time to go. You got to be happy. You probably feel good. Sometimes you might feel a little sluggish and catch the itis, but you remember them days too. And then you kind of dial back. You start to dial back those cheat days.
You'll find your range.
You don't want to feel like shit.
Right.
Exactly. Like shit. Feel sick. Whatever.
And that'll happen. That will happen.
That'll definitely happen because you'll overconsume. Your body will feel like I'm never gonna get this delicious treat again, so I'm gonna get as much as I can now. Give me more. Give me more.
Right.
But also one more thing I want to cover before we sort of move on to the next topic or whatever. But beyond eating processed food, you don't want to get away from foods that contain fat either, because one of those historic things about eating food is, you want to get fat free. You want to get the gluten-free or whatever the case may be. All of these rules, when you buy food that has a quote-unquote hot topic word on it, it's about money, right? It's about getting the best profit for the product that you about to buy. It's psychology of marketing if you guys ever look into it. But skip all of that. Go to the foods that you have to make yourself. It is really not that hard to make a sauce from scratch, or to make a seasoning packet. Most people ain't never tried to, so they don't know it's that easy. Because I was about to say, you probably ain't never done it.
I'll leave that to you.
I never did it before I stopped eating meat, to be honest. I never did it myself. This is something new for me as well, so I'm bringing it to y'all as an experiential situation where I'm like, oh shit, I just had an aha moment and a light bulb went off. It's not that hard to make sauces and sweeteners and all that stuff.
And even, with that, I know you doing the whole vegan thing and
not vegan, vegetarian. It's a big difference.
Okay.
Whole world of difference. I'm not vegan because I eat my eggs, I eat cheese, and I get my dairy on. And I just don't eat meat on a regular basis because I like the way vegetarianism feels. It feels energetic as hell, and I feel natural. If you ever seen that show, The Swamp Thing, I feel like I'm connected to the universe and the earth. But that's me personally.
Never seen it.
You ain't, you can watch, it's on DC, whatever. You ain't into the situation like I am, but it's cool. Anyway, man, let's move on to the next topic so we can kind of keep the ball rolling or whatever. But get your monounsaturated fats. That's what I was about to go over. Get your monounsaturated fats in. Don't be scared of carbs. Carbs is your absolute best friend, especially if you do anything other than work at a desk. If you sit at a desk, you want to kind of get away from the carbs a little bit. But like I say, it's still your brain's primary source of energy. So if you got to think a lot, you still want those carbs. But if you're active, if you're moving, if you're walking like he does a lot, you're showing people around, you need to have those carbs because that is what the body looks for to produce energy sustainably for your day. So get that, get a bunch of vegetables, get your grains, get your fruits. You can eat as much fruit as you want. The carbs from the fruits are not going to kill you.
Yeah, if you don't believe them, try working out without carbs. See how that works out.
That's how you feeling sick, nauseous, and wanting to throw up, and it'll be from stretching. It'll be from the stretch work, but yeah, you'll definitely be tired. Okay, let's move on.
All right.
You gotta have patience. That's your topic. You gotta be patient, man. And I know you are an impatient person. It's been like that forever.
Very much so.
Patience is a virtue. Like I say, it's a week by week, month by month thing. You can't live day to day trying to change your life because everything will overwhelm you.
That's true.
Everything.
And you know, it's certain concepts. I'm not a patient person whatsoever, but when it comes to anything in this aspect as far as lifting weights or changing your body, I mean, you have to be because nothing's going to come quick.
That's true. Now, and that's one thing I can say that you are an impatient person. I'm going to continue to stand by that.
Oh, for sure. But, I don't disagree.
But when it comes to the working out, man, I actually find it really hard to find people to exercise with on a personal basis because you have to be patient. Mm-hmm. I train really slowly. I lift weights really slow. I don't care about the amount of weight. I want to squeeze. I want to hold it. I want to feel every muscle fiber start shaking from trying to hold that weight for any longer. It's an experience for me. I enjoy that. And working out with you, I can kind of get you there. Yeah. You get to shaking a little bit or whatnot, but that's where the magic happens at. That's where you change, you cause the most stress, and it's really easy to heal from because it's not affecting your joints and whatnot. But it takes patience to lift like that because one lift that should have been 45 seconds might turn into 2 minutes. Right. You might be putting 3 minutes time under tension. Much more effective, a whole lot less weight. Right. But you're going to be way more sore. You've experienced that from push-ups. Yeah,
which, you know, for me to get that way from push-ups, something that, you know, I've been doing for a long time.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know it tripped you out when we stopped and you was gassed. From what was it? What did it amount to? Like 15 push-ups?
Yeah.
It amounted to, you know
all
what?
About that time under tension.
We gonna show them what that set of push-ups look like. All right. Not right now, but in a minute.
All right.
We gonna show them. We gonna show them what the push-ups look like. But anyway, try it out. Definitely it'll get you right. But let's go ahead and skip on down. Y'all know how important it is to be patient. You gotta challenge yourself. You gotta put in the work. If you're gonna be committed, you're gonna be consistent, and you're gonna put in all that hard work to eat right, which is very hard, you may as well stay committed to the exercise as well. Finish the circle because nothing happens without every part. You can't roll anywhere if one part of your circle is flat because you're not dieting and you're exercising, or you're dieting and not exercising. It has to come full circle. Hopefully I can put when I go like this, I can put something special, come up like the ring. Now I'm brainstorming in the middle of the set because I like doing this. Okay, last reason number 7, I personally feel is the most important, but it's support. You have to have support. And I don't mean having somebody to go to the gym with that's just gonna show off, make you look bad, make you feel bad, and then go on about your day. No, I mean like actual, right there by your side, support. Flat out, checking on you, making sure you're doing what you're doing, asking you about what could we do better, what could we do extra, how do you feel about it. You gotta have that support, man. Like I try to be as supportive as I can be to you, and I know you got a support corner already.
For sure.
But as a fitness professional, you know, it's my job to be a little different kind of support. Mm-hmm. Sometimes aggressive, sometimes passive, but in all retrospect, supportive.
Yeah, I mean, that goes so many ways. I'm blessed. So I've always really had that support. When I first wanted to start working out even, my mother went and got me, you know, the best weight bench she could find.
Your mom started this, bro, when she bought you that Smith machine, man. It wasn't even the Smith she bought first. The Smith came second.
Yeah.
It was when she bought that original,
right.
that
Smith
original
came after
one.
that.
Yeah.
So from that, my wife is extremely supportive. I mean, I have an omelet, you know what I mean? I don't cook it.
Straight up. I mean? Hey, I got here a little bit late today because my wife was making me breakfast, and I had to finish it.
But
so
she's super supportive.
That's what's up,
You know,
man.
it takes time out of my day. I spend at least an hour, hour and a half a day, you know, working out, and she never complains. You know, she understands. And
that's what's up.
She definitely, you know, is a good support system. So
that support is the truth, and you need that. All of y'all need that. If you got somebody in your life that's trying to do this, have they back. Even if you don't believe in what they can do, believe in the vision that they have for themselves. Right? Support that vision until that vision is manifested into reality. That is the greatest piece of support you could ever provide somebody. Stand behind their dreams. Right? I could speak on that all day long because I had people standing behind my dream when I didn't have anything but a dream. You know, and it was people believing in me. So for me to be able to give that sort of love and support back, it's a necessity. It's required, you know, and it feels absolutely fantastic to do that, you know, to be that support system, man. But, dude, you just brought some memories back, talking about your mom buying that Smith machine, man. Because now I'm thinking about the time when you got caught up under the Smith machine with your ponytails. Dude's hair used to be like this long. We bench pressing, man. He got caught up under the bar. Everybody, all of you guys have been caught under the bar before. I'm sure, whether you had a spot or not, you've been caught up under the bar with some weight you couldn't handle. That was hilarious. I could not believe what you told me that day when you called me. Man, it's stuck on my hair. We can't get it off. How did that even happen, bro? How did that happen?
So it was my first time on a Smith. I was trying to bench like 300 pounds.
Okay.
And,
which is no weight to sneeze at.
Well,
as a young man, that was no weight to sneeze at as a young man.
16, you know what I mean? 17, something like that. So that's, you know, that's a lot of weight back then.
And I trained him, by the way, when we was younger. I went and did my study, and yes, I did.
You did introduce us to drop sets.
I did, that's
right. I'll give you that much.
Okay, well, I'll take at least that. You ain't got to give me nothing else but that.
But, yeah, I had a spot there, and unfortunately, he couldn't get it off of me, and he mustered up enough strength to get it so I could slide under, and my hair got caught. You know, I got my face out, but my hair, he let it go. My hair ended up getting caught.
Oh, man. Whole life flashing before your eyes.
Nobody thought, looking back, nobody thought to just clear the weight off the sides.
Just take the weight off the sides and then lift it off?
I don't blame myself. I got 300 pounds of weight on me. I'm not going to think of that.
Yeah,
so
you panicking.
I fought him for that.
Yeah,
he should have thought about that.
That is hilarious, man. But that's definitely the end, man. You got to have support. Yeah. That's the message, man. We got 7 topics. Just a lot of these things, just listen, sort of comb over a lot of the information. It's a lot of high level information, but it's clear and precise, right? You got to pay attention to yourself. You got to be imaginative. You got to understand that you can really do anything that you want. You just got to put in enough practice and envisioning yourself being there. So we going to end off this episode right here, y'all. This is my debut on YouTube with my homie Justin Cruz. We literally grew up together, and this ain't nothing but the beginning. Like, it's so much stuff that I wanted to talk about that we sort of didn't get to yet, but that's just the irony of having a good conversation with somebody you enjoy. You just get off topic and it just keeps going. But look forward to more dope episodes. We got some crazy stories to talk about, some good laughs to share. That's it, man. I appreciate you, brother. Give me some love.
We, breaking the whole social distance.
Man, I ain't worried about this. It's like brothers, so we ain't worried about no social distance.